Today, we are going to learn about God who has no hands, part 1. From the very beginning, people have been aware of God. They could feel Him, though they could not see Him. And they were always asking in their different languages who He was and where He has to be found. Who is God? They asked their wise men. He's the most perfect of beings, was the answer. But what does he look like? Does he have a body like us? No, he has got no body. He has no eyes to see with, no hands to work with, and no feet to walk with. But he sees everything and knows everything, even our most secret thoughts. And where is he? He is in heaven and on this earth. He is everywhere. What can he do? Whatever he wishes. But what God has actually done? What he has done is all that has ever happened. He is the creator and master who has made everything. He cares and provides for them all and keeps the whole of his creation in the most wonderful harmony and order. In the beginning, there was only God. Since he was completely perfect and completely happy, there was nothing he needed. Yet, out of his goodness, he chose to create all that he willed came into being. The heavens and the earth, all that is visible and all that is invisible. He made the light, the stars, the sky, and the earth with its plants and animals. Last of all, made man. Man, like the animals, was made out of particles of the earth. God made him different from animals and like himself, or into his body which would die. He breathed a soul which would never die. Many people thought this was just a tale. How could someone with no eyes and no hands make things? If God is a spirit who cannot be seen or touched or heard, how could he have made the stars that sparkle overhead, the sea which is always astir, the sun, the mountains, and the wind? How could a spirit make the birds and the fishes and trees, the flowers and the scent that they shed around them? Perhaps he could make invisible things, but how could he make the visible world? It is all very well. They thought to say that God is everywhere, but who has set their eyes on him? How can we be sure he is everywhere? They tell he is the master whom everybody and everything obeys. But why on earth should we believe that? It is really does it impossible. We who have hands could not do these things. So how could someone with no hands do them? And can we imagine animals and plants and rocks obeying God? The animals do not understand when we talk to them. So how could they be obedient? Or the winds and the sea and the mountains? You can shout and scream and wave your arms at them, but they cannot hear you, for they are not even alive, and they certainly won't obey you. Yes, that is how it seems to us. But as you will see, everything that exists, whether it has life or not, in all that it does, and by the very fact of it being there, actually obeys the will of God. God's creatures do not know that they are obeying. Those that are inanimate just go on existing. Those that have life move and go on living. Yet every time a cool wind brushes your cheek, its voice, if you could hear it, is saying, Lord, I obey. When the sun rises in the morning and colors the glittering sea, the sun and the sunbeams are whispering, My Lord, I obey. When you see a bird on the wing, or the fruit falling from a tree, or a butterfly hovering over a flower, the birds and their flight, the tree and the fruit and its fall on the ground, the butterfly and the flower and its fragrance are all repeating the same words. I hear my Lord, and I obey. That's all about God who has no hands, part 1.